The personal development industry needs a makeover in general. Every day, I get calls from people who are saying, I've been in therapy for 9 years and I'm still struggling. I've been in therapy for 15 years. I've been in therapy for 25 years and I'm still feeling like we never got deep enough, to help me get rid of the self-sabotage or those insecurities or those feelings of not being good enough. And it's sabotaging my business, my money, my health, my relationships. And I've tried everything and nothing's working. And my therapists were really nice, but all we would do is I would just talk to them all the time and they wouldn't give me any tools, or, they would have me talk about all these upsetting situations in my life. And I would walk out of there feeling worse instead of feeling better. And it just isn't working, or I go to my doctor and all they want to do is give me the next medicine. And these pills are giving me side effects and they're not changing those feelings or those beliefs that I have inside. They're just making me tired. And so I just get so frustrated hearing those stories because my clients get pretty remarkable results really quickly, and it's sustainable over time. And the tools are out there. The strategies are available. They're just not mainstream. Most people do not know anything about this unless you are an entrepreneur or someone who's a business owner who is specifically always trying to grow and learn, who has moved away from traditional approaches. But even some of the alternative approaches out there, they are just, people that are attracted to this industry are either usually very wounded. And so they're looking to share what they've learned by going through their own healing. And that's me. Or they have really big egos and they see opportunities there and they like the idea of being the guru. And I'm not interested in that. And so I've seen a lot of stuff that is just ridiculous, that isn't effective, that's often unethical and not effective. In fact, a lot of people have gotten in a lot of trouble and been sued. Some even have gone to jail that were pretty famous in the personal development industry because of their own ego, right? Their own arrogance and not being careful to focus on taking care of the person in front of you and making sure that they're loved and taken care of and their best interests are at heart. Instead, it becomes about how much money can we make and stuff like that. And so something has to be done, because I went to school from 1988 to 1996, I think. So about 7 years. I went to college and then 2 different grad schools, studying to be a clinical psychotherapist, more psycho than therapist at the time. And so I had 33 psychology classes at the college and graduate level. And through all of that experience, I still didn't gain the tools that I could go out and immediately help create transformation for somebody. If they had a phobia, they had a deep fear of spiders, right? For example, or frogs, or vomiting or heights or bridges or driving or swimming, whatever it is, right? I've helped people with all of those things very quickly. But I was taught that it might take, a year or 2 to get rid of a phobia. And here I was learning tools that were helping me to help people get over those phobias in 10 minutes. In fact, I did it on live television one time. Got a guy who had a terrible arachnophobia, fear of spiders, and we had a tarantula on his arm in 10 minutes, right? Which is crazy because I didn't like spiders either. And I had to put the spider on my arm first and then put it on his. But we did it, right? We both conquered our fear on live TV. And so these tools that are being taught are not effective. They're just not working. Right? Just doing guided meditations and doing yoga stretches and taking herbal remedies and trying to meditate and using, elaborate cognitive behavioral or NLP techniques that, are overcomplicated. It's just not doing it. People aren't getting the kinds of breakthroughs that they need. And, while I was going to school for psychology, I saw a lot of stuff that was not cool. A lot of professors that were literally making students cry. That were, on ego trips or very abusive. And, I would see them, just break their students down and they'd have like a smile on their face. So many unethical stories of people in power doing really unethical things. And they were supposed to be the healers, the therapists, right? They were guiding us, and so frustrating. And, out of all those tools for 7 years and all of psychology classes, now I learned some stuff. I learned a few tools that were helpful and some insights and some strategies, but just giving personality assessments and And, trying to use elaborate positive thinking techniques is not enough when you are dealing with deep unconscious beliefs that are driving the fear, that are driving the habits, that are driving the self-sabotage, the unconscious secondary value or secondary benefits that, where people are getting an unconscious payoff for showing up in a way that's holding themselves back and they don't even realize that's happening. I call it a values conflict. That can be resolved so fast, but people don't know that that's even happening. And so the experts aren't being taught this. Psychologists, psychiatrists, therapists, social workers, master level counselors aren't really being taught these kinds of tools. It's still the same talk therapy of they talk, you listen, you go, how's that make you feel? And some are more direct. And so they'll use cognitive behavioral or rational emotive therapy, techniques, which again, focuses on your analytical reasoning instead of the unconscious programming that's driving so many of our fearful thoughts. And so that has to change. And we've got to figure out what to do to help people in this age of anxiety that we're in, because it's out of control. I mean, I'm getting calls from people that are saying my 6-year-old has anxiety now, a 6-year-old, right? With social media and instant access to all these bad things that are happening all the time. And the giant ups and downs, it's like the whole world has become bipolar in a way. And I mean that in a sensitive way, right? Because when you're looking at your phone, you might see one story of some dog or cat and it makes you feel happy. And then the next story is a school shooting. And then boom, it drops you down. And that high and low that happens so fast, that happens constantly throughout the day, is trashing our brain chemistry. And that's why so many kids are struggling. So many kids are having depression and anxiety. So many people are acting out in really horrible ways. And a lot of it has to do with people are growing up with smartphones now and instant access to every bad thing and everything that's out there on the internet, God forbid, right? And people are getting exposure to that, and it's too much, and it's too much for young minds as well. And so we're going to see a whole new pandemic, mental, emotional pandemic, and mental challenges that in the next few years, because of the generation that's being raised on the internet and with social media and smartphones. So we've got to have better tools that are going to help free people from that. And that's why I'm stepping in, right? I've been teaching people and running my practice and freeing as many people as possible, but now I'm taking it to another level. I created this one belief away method after facilitating 15,000 individual sessions, more than that now, and hundreds of group and corporate workshops, working with groups and teams of people. And I finally figured out what that recipe is. After 35 years of studying psychology and human behavior, I figured out what the psychological recipes are, what those emotional recipes are that are going to free people from anxiety and insecurity and self-doubt and imposter syndrome and fears and all the stuff that holds us back. And we can start to shift that immediately. If you watch the testimonials, now one of the smartest things I've done is that I documented all of this stuff for the last 20 years. I have thousands of written, video, audio testimonials of people sharing their stories of what it was like before they went through our program and then what it was like afterwards. And then, I started teaching my students how to do this and certifying them just as hypnotists and hypnotherapists. I've been doing that since like 2007, and their clients were getting really great results. And then over time, my methods evolved and I got better, right? And so I'm much better now in my 50s than I was in my 20s doing this, or 30s even. And so now I'm going to teach a higher level of education, plus fill in the gaps for the other pieces that are missing, because too many people in the people helping profession are broke. And that financial stress and pressure, one, it limits you from having the impact that you want. Two, it limits you from getting to help more people because you won't have any kind of marketing skills. You could be a great coach, but if you don't have any clients, who cares, right? And then the third part of it is our own confidence. Because of the poor training that is out there, and because our market is being flooded by all these NLP knockoff trainings where you're going to suddenly be an expert if you go through this $500 course, the word expert, it's lost its meaning because everybody's an expert. Everybody's a coach. Everybody's a consultant now. Everybody's an authority. even if they have no experience or they've had 5 clients. And so, that word expert, I think, is just kind of, lost its meaning. And so again, I'm finding the problems that I struggled with, the problems that everybody that I talk to. I mean, I've talked to thousands of coaches and therapists and counselors and consultants, and they all say the same thing. And it was the same things I was complaining about as too. So I'm doing something about it. I'm launching this One Belief Away hypnosis certification. So I still use the hypnosis. You can just do the One Belief Away method and be certified and just call yourself an OBA coach if you want to do it that way, because your results will stand you out from the crowd. But I'm also going to teach the marketing part, the influencer part of it, the networking part of it, the business growth and business skills and marketing systems part of it that allows you to run a lucrative practice so that you can make a bigger difference, so you can have a greater impact, so that you can reach your fullest potential without constantly being freaked out about where am I going to get the next client? How am I going to pay my bills this month? And so we're just going to change the game. And I'm super excited about this. So I'm going to be sharing more about it. And you're going to be hearing me talk about this a lot because I've been doing this on my own for a long time. I've won awards for complaining about, how the hypnosis industry has been cranking out hypnotists, and charging them $1,000 to become a certified hypnotist. And it flooded our industry with a bunch of people that don't have confidence or don't have good skill sets. And then, or these life coaching programs that give people a bunch of analytical tools, just like they do in psychology training programs. And that's not cutting it. Otherwise, we would have such a happy society, right? But it's not cutting it. And so it's the same mistakes repackaged. And so, I'm going to change that, and it's going to be really exciting. I've been doing it on my own. I've been on TV 50 different times. I won the President's Award from the International Medical and Dental Hypnotherapy Association for my work in educating the public on what's possible for them using the power of your mind. But I'm just one person. So I'm building an army of healers, an army of people that are really good at producing significant results. Then we're going to turn those results into amazing stories. And then we're going to get those stories into the mass media so that this is the norm instead of some alternative secret that only the rich and successful or people who are lucky enough to stumble upon this stuff know about. We got to get the masses involved with understanding how their mind works and how to upgrade their unconscious programming. And it's going to be revolutionary, and I'm excited about it. And if you're excited about it, then stay tuned, like, subscribe, share this with your friends, whatever you need to do so that you are staying a part of our community, because we are going to change the game. Stay tuned. Talk to you soon.